I don't understand. How does one team get outplayed so much after they play really good in the first period? What mindset changes when you transition from first to second period? I don't get it. You play very well in the first, and then the rest of the game, you are outplayed in every aspect of the game. Outplayed. What changed in your game? What changed from getting the puck up, flipping the puck over so you make the defenseman have to chase it? What happened to getting the puck deep, making the simple plays that you were doing in the first period? Why are we trying to make plays? Why are we trying to do this little cute fancy stuff? What changed the mindset in between periods? Because the Islanders woke up. The Islanders pushed. And you could tell they were waking up a little bit at the end of the first period. But the Flyers, they get out of that first period with a 1-0 lead. But it was all Islanders from there. The Flyers couldn't generate anything. They just couldn't. They stopped shooting. Especially after that goal, they stopped shooting. You're not going to score if you don't shoot. You're not going to win the game if you don't shoot. One goal is not enough to beat the Islanders. And they have proved it to you time and time again that they can come back on you. They have proved it time and time again that they're never going to go away. The Flyers need to figure out how to shut a team down. The Flyers have not had a full 60 minutes the entire playoffs. Maybe the round robin. The round robin was their best hockey. And honestly, the round robin, probably not the best preparation for the first round in the second round of the playoffs. But the Flyers found a way to get here. And they're showing, they're getting outplayed a lot by a much better prepared team. But how are we not prepared to go into the second period? Playing with a 1-0 lead. Why are we stepping off the gas? Why are we stepping off the gas? That's what bothers me. Why don't we continue to try piling it on? Look what you did in games 2 in the first period. You scored 3 goals. You kept piling it on in the first period. Granted, they came back in that game, but you ended up winning it. You had a chance. This game, you had no chance whatsoever. And you have to give credit to the Islanders. They clog up the neutral zone. They clog up their own defensive zone. They play with a lot of speed. But the way the Flyers played in the first period, where was that game the rest of the way? The Flyers just lost it. Throughout that entire second period, it was in the Flyers zone majority of the time. The Flyers could not figure out any way to get shots on that. They didn't have one shot in that second period, probably until halfway in. It's unbelievable. A freaking Pee-wee team can outplay the Flyers at this point. It's ridiculous how much we get outplayed. It's tough to say because honestly I believe both of these teams are evenly matched, but the Islanders are showing ways, the way that they can counter the Flyers. The Flyers are not showing ways they can counter the Islanders. They have had no response. Whenever the Flyers start off a game really good and the Islanders find a way to bounce back, the Flyers have no counterattack. The Flyers stop. They step off the gas. And that's the giant problem. The Flyers in the first period played very well. They were getting the pucks in deep. They were chipping it up high, making the defenders having to go chase the puck. The Flyers were getting zone pressure. The third line in that first period, probably the best line in the entire game. Scott Laughton slides back into the lineup. Michael Raffl is out. There's questionability that he might be injured right there. He could have got injured in game 2. So Laughton comes back in. He's centering that line. And they were the best line in that period, probably the entire game. They were generating a lot of offensive chances. And that goes in almost halfway through the first period. You get Pitlick on the left corner, Scott Laughton handing it over to him, and then Pitlick fires the biscuit onto the net. And there's probably like 2, 3, 4 guys in front of Varlamov. And it goes in. It goes in. Look what happens when you shoot the puck and you get men in front of the goaltender. Good things can happen. And it happened right there. A 1-0 lead for the Flyers. But then, for some odd reason, we step off the gas. You can tell at the end of that first period, the Islanders were pushing. Carter Hart had to make some great saves. He made one fantastic save where it just went right off of his glove, and it went out of play. And you can tell, like I said, the Islanders were pushing at the end of that period, the final 2 minutes. And they were generating something. And the Flyers, they get out of the period 1-0. You should take some positives going into that intermission. But what changed? What changed in the mindset going into the second? Why did we stop shooting? Why couldn't we figure out a way to counter the Islanders? That's happened in the first 3 games. The Islanders always found a way to respond. Although in the first game, we were shut out. The Flyers had no chance. Game 2, we were up 3-0 and you let them come back. This game, you had a 1-0 lead. That's not enough. 1-0 leads are not enough to hold this team out the way they play. They are going to come back. They are going to hang around in the game. You gotta score. You gotta shoot. And I looked through the second period shot stats. The Flyers in the second period only had 6 shots to the Islanders 15. Our first shot wasn't until halfway through the period. It was bad. It was very, very bad. And granted, you weren't getting any power plays. You weren't, thank God they weren't taking penalties most of the time during this game. It didn't happen until the third period. But the refs, they were letting play go. And both teams, they were getting away with some. They were. But the refs were letting the play go. And that was the way the game was going to go most of the time. So, the Flyers had to find ways to score 5-on-5. And they were not doing it in the second period. It comes out in the second period. You get Matthew Barzal doing his thing. He barely misses a wraparound chance behind the net. It goes right through the blue paint into the other side of the wall. And then, like I said, when the Flyers in the first period, they were getting pucks in deep. They were limiting their turnovers. In the second period, they were turnovers galore. It was just, here, take the puck. I don't want it. Take it, take it, take it. It was a turnover fest. You get in the neutral zone. Kevin Hayes trying to bring the puck up. He tries to hand it off to Joel Farabee. He can't connect with the pass. And that's been a common theme a lot in this game. The Flyers, for some reason, could not connect their passes. It looked like players were not ready for it. It just looked like players, for some reason, the puck would always hop over their stick. The Flyers couldn't catch a break in the pass department, but they got to be better. You're leaving Carter Hart out to dry right here. And that ensuing play by Joel Farabee not handling the pass goes the other way for the Islanders. The puck bounces in the air. Travis Sanheim can't settle it down. The puck goes into the corner. Matthew Barzal does his thing. He hands the puck over to a wide open Matt Martin who was in front of the net. He puts it on Carter Hart. At first, Hart makes the save, but it trickles by his blocker, barely gets by him, and it goes into the net. And you're looking at a 1-1 game right there. Carter Hart would love to have that puck back. Definitely would, but I don't blame him. I don't blame him on any goal in this game. Carter Hart was the reason the Flyers were in this game. Would he like to have that back? Yes. Would I like him to make that save? Yes, but do I blame him? No. It's an unlucky bounce, and it went the Islanders' way, and they were the reason because of turnovers. Turnovers. It just happens like that. And then the Flyers, they don't find a way to respond. Every time we've scored in this series, the Islanders found a way to come back and generate some momentum. The Flyers could not generate anything. It just continued in the Flyers zone the entire period. Turnovers, we can't get the puck out of the zone. It feels like every time we tried to clear the puck out, there's always an Islander defenseman right there to either jump and grab the puck or just keep it and our plays, like just chip it off the boards and get it out. Chip it off the boards, fling it in the air. The Flyers couldn't do that. It's either these weak clear attempts, we're not getting enough of it, or when we get too much of it, we ice the damn thing. And Varlamov had really nothing to do in this period. He was basically just standing there as an innocent bystander. He had nothing to do. He only had to stop 6 shots, and the Flyers really couldn't generate anything. And then the Flyers find a way to break down in the final 5 seconds of the period. And this play is mind-boggling in my point right here. Because I love Ivan Provorov. He made a fantastic play in this period, too, to break up a 2-on-0 chance for the Islanders. He gets back into the play, dives, and tries to stick lift someone. And there were some sequences in this period, too, where the Islanders had the third line for the Flyers out there for a consistent, 2-3 minutes, because we kept icing the puck and we couldn't get it out of the zone. It's just incredible. And going back to Ivan Provorov, I love the guy so much, but he sucked today. He sucked a lot, besides that one defensive play. Basically, after that defensive play, he sucked. Because you got the puck going into the zone. Matt Niskanen is being chased by one guy. Ivan Provorov does not help Matt Niskanen whatsoever. He does eventually get the puck, but instead of trying to do the simple play, get the puck out of the zone, get it into the air, he tries to make a play, and he tries to pass it through the blue line, and you know what? Turnover. It goes off of an Islander stick, it goes right down back into the Flyers zone, and Matt Niskanen has to go back there, and he tries to, this is where I judge Matt Niskanen right here. Matt Niskanen tries to throw it up the middle of the ice instead of trying to keep the puck on the boards. He should have kept that because you had 4 or 5 seconds left in this period. Keep it on the boards, kill off the period. Don't try to throw the puck out into the middle of the ice, because it turned out bad things happened from it. You got Leo Komarov on that board play with Matt Niskanen. He's out there in the middle of the ice. The Islander that's on Matt Niskanen forces him to throw the puck out into the middle of the ice, and Leo Komarov throws a backhander on Carter Hart, and it squeaks by him. Like, once again, Carter Hart had the puck. It squeaked by him. Would Carter Hart like to have this puck? Yes. Would I want him to make the save? Yes. Do I blame him? No. Turnover. Turnover is what led to that goal. I do not blame Carter Hart whatsoever. Like I said, he was the only reason we were in this game. Would he like to have that puck back? Definitely, he's going to be thinking about basically all 3 goals in this game, because he just couldn't catch a break. He could not catch a break whatsoever. He is going to be thinking about those 3 goals the entire night. He had no help today. He was left to dry. The entire time. And those last-minute goals, those last-second goals, are what kill you. And the Flyers played better in the third. They played a little bit better, but couldn't do anything. And then you finally get the first penalty of the game taken by Robert Haig when he slashes a stick. And his stick breaks in the turnout too. And the Islanders, they go on the power play. And you know what? The Islanders don't take that long to score. You get Anders Lee in his office right in the front of the net. He's trying to make a pass into the back door. And he's trying to make the pass. Carter Hart reads it immediately and tries to get his stick down. But as that pass goes, it deflects off the back of Carter Hart's stick, and it bounces into the net. Carter Hart could not catch a break in this damn game, and the Islanders make 3-1. Carter Hart could not catch a break. And what is happening to our penalty kill? It feels like when we give up that one penalty, it always turns into the back of the net. It just feels like that right now. The moment when we don't need to give up a penalty, we allow them to score on that. It just what? I'm speechless. I'm very speechless, because a Pee-wee team can outplay the Flyers. That's how badly they were outplayed in this game. And the Flyers have to find a way to score 2 goals. And then Robert Haig takes another penalty. 2 penalties right there. And before this penalty, the Flyers had the first line out there. They were trying to get a chance. And Claude Giroux gets tripped into the boards. And the ref does not call it. And you get the entire bench saying, "Whoa! What are you doing?" The ref doesn't call it. And honestly, besides the 2 calls on Robert Haig, those were penalties. But you're not going to call that on Giroux? You're not going to call that trip? What are you doing right there? And then, even though the Islanders don't score on that power play, there was a chance by Joe Farabee. And oh my God, this would have hopefully gave the Flyers momentum right here, but it didn't, because he didn't score on it. You got Joel Farabee with a one-timer in the slot, and Varlamov made his best save of the night. Basically, that was the most dangerous chance he had since the first period, because he barely got anything in the second. The third period, okay, here's a one-timer from Joel Farabee, goes off of his foot, and he makes the save. And the Flyers, they have to try to generate something somehow. Anders Lee does take a penalty because his helmet came off, and with the new rule in the NHL, if your helmet comes off, you have to get off the ice immediately. He doesn't get off the ice immediately, he stays in the game, and he draws a penalty from that. So the Flyers, they go on the power play, they pull Carter Hart. The Flyers had 4 minutes left in this game, and they had a 2-minute power play. Couldn't do anything. Couldn't do anything whatsoever. They don't win the face-off. The puck goes down the ice. It's basically like that. The Flyers, they get the setup, they get their chances. You get Ivan Provorov fumbling it at the blue line like he always does. Like I said, Provorov had a terrible game to begin with. It's just, you're not going to score. You're not going to win games if you consistently step off the gas. If you consistently don't find ways to put a team down. This game, you had to score more goals. Varlamov, he didn't have anything to test him this game. He was basically comfortable the entire night. Granted, he didn't get anything in the second period. He made the fantastic save in the third. That was basically the only dangerous chance he had. He had no chance on the first goal because he had like 5 guys in front of him. Like, that's what the Flyers have to do. They got to get guys in front of Varlamov. They got to get these rebounds because Varlamov was giving up rebounds in today's game. And the Flyers, they couldn't get that man there. And it always feels like when the Islanders want to set up a play, there's always a man in the right spot at the right time. But when the Flyers are trying to do that, there is not a guy in that spot when they need them to. And you almost get a chance with Kevin Hayes and Scott Laughton when they're trying to do a little 2-on-1 right here, and Kevin Hayes cannot connect the pass to Scott Laughton. And Scott Laughton in this game, he had some good moments, especially in that first period, but then once the second period came along, it was just like, Scotty, what are you doing? He's trying to do a behind-the-legs pass, and it goes the other way for an odd-man rush for the Islanders. And that was the play where Provorov had to get back and make that nice play defensively. It's just the mental mistakes. The Flyers were making too many mental mistakes in this game. Turnovers. What you weren't doing in the first period, you did it the rest of the game. The Flyers played a nice, good first period, and it led to a goal. And they got off that game the rest of the way. The Flyers got to find a way to play a full 60 minutes against this team. Granted, the Islanders haven't had a full 60 minutes either, but they're finding ways to outplay the Flyers majority of the time. The Flyers have played 3 games so far, and they've only, dominated 3 periods? And I think the Islanders dominated maybe like 6? Yeah, the Islanders dominated a lot of periods in this series so far. Maybe 6 or 7 periods they've dominated. And the Flyers only dominated like maybe 2 or 3. The Flyers haven't been the better team so far. They got to win in game 2. But now they're down 2-1 in the series after you lose this game 3-1. And I don't know if it's a blessing in disguise that you got a game tomorrow at 8 p.m. But it's tough. Maybe I thought it was going to be maybe a blessing in disguise that the games got postponed for everything that was going on with the players protesting. Granted, I understand what they were doing. I support it fully. Maybe this was a blessing in disguise. Maybe they were going to get enough energy to come into this game, enough rest. But the Islanders, they looked like the better team the rest of the way. And the Flyers, they got to find a way, throw this game away, come back for game 4. And the Flyers, they've constantly, consistently, I'm confident they can bounce back because they've proven to us many times, especially in the playoffs. After every game they lose, they always show up the next game. But we need to find a way to get 60 minutes on the damn ice, consistently. And even if you don't play 60 minutes, give us at least 2 good periods, maybe 2.5 periods. Don't fall asleep. Don't step off the gas if you get the first goal. Put the team down. Continue to find ways to score. Stop not shooting the puck at this point. Because the Flyers, it felt like when they scored that first goal, they stopped shooting. It felt like the Montreal series. They stopped shooting. Varlamov is not Carey Price. He is vulnerable. He's a good goaltender. He's not great. He's human. He's going to let up a bad rebound. He's going to let up a bad goal. Find ways. Because you're not going to win. You're not going to score if you don't shoot. The Flyers need to find a way. Like I said, 60 minutes. They got to find a way to get 60 minutes consistently. Especially tomorrow. And maybe, is there a question that maybe you go with Elliott tomorrow? Honestly, I would go with Hart. He didn't play bad in today's game. But I can understand why that conversation could be there just because it's a back-to-back. Carter Hart has played every game. I expect Vigneault to go with Carter Hart tomorrow. But that question is going to be lingering in the air right there. If you put Elliott in there, if you put Carter Hart back. I expect Carter Hart. I expect this team to bounce back. I'm confident they can. But it's frustrating when they get outplayed so much. So, what are your thoughts on tonight's game? What are your thoughts on what they have to do to going into game 4? Because they need to be better. They need to find a way to get 60 minutes. So, what's your thoughts? Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Don't forget to drop a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you next time.